Hi, in this video we will discuss about how to secure your website using SSL. So the first step is like we have to identify a certificate provider. So if you see over here, this is one of the free certificate providers, SSL for free, right? So it is a completely free certificate provider and it is valid for 90 days. However, if you go for some paid services, it might be valid for 1 year or a period of 2 years. So I have chosen this and it works fine for me. So let's go over the steps in securing your website. So since my website is hosted on Amazon EC2 instance, so I'll be trying to go over this tutorial by Amazon. So it says configure an Apache web server or on Amazon Linux to use SSL TLS, right? So let's see what are the prerequisites. So I think you can go over this. I'll put in the link for this in the video. So it says first thing is to enable SSL TLS on your web server, that is Apache, right? So yeah, here you have to run these commands. It's fairly simple, and you will have to install mod24 SSL. So I'll skip all these easy parts and let's get into the main steps. So in this case I am not going to obtain a CA signed certificate. However, if you want to do it from here, you could do so. I have chosen SSL for free for my certificate, so I will entirely skip this part. I don't need this part. Third is to harden the security configuration. Okay, so before we execute this step, let's jump over SSL for free and try to get our certificate. Okay, so all you have to do is give your host name, give your website name, and you could, like for example, if you entered a domain name, right, so you will see the different types of verification. So basically what this is asking is like SSL for free wants to verify that you are the owner of this particular domain, then only they will provide a certificate for this, right? So there are three types of verification. I'll do this since I found this as the easiest. So this is manually verifying the domain. So it is very simple. Yeah, so you just have to follow these steps. Go into your DNS management page that your domain use. Like for example, I have created this domain using GoDaddy, so it's asking me to sign in into GoDaddy and add the following txt records below to your DNS server. So that means in your DNS management you just have to add an entry. Like for example, you will have a CNAME, a record and all those things, right? So in that I'm not going to show that, but it is very simple. So you can just add a txt record with the name as this and the value as this. Again a txt record as the name like this and the value like this, right? So once that is done, you can just create it temporarily. After this verification is done, you can delete it off. So after this is verified, you can download the certificate. I have already downloaded my certificate, so let's see how it looks like. So if I go to SSL for free, so these are the three things that you need. One is private.key, certificate file and the CA bundle, right? So let's try to go back and see what to do next here. So now we have a certificate obtained from SSL for free, which is valid for 90 days, right? I think for this you will have to create an account. That I think you can figure it out. Yeah, so let's try to see what is the next step. Okay, let's go back. I think we skipped one part. Okay, I think these things are not required. Let's jump into the part which is mandatory for us. Yeah, so this says from inside the directory of the, okay, I think there is one. Let's go to our EC2 instance, right? Okay, so there is this file. So you see this, right? The httpd conf.d ssl.conf. This is where all your SSL configuration would exist on your httpd, which is on your Apache web server. So let's try to edit this and search for SSL certificate file. So if you see this, right, it says the first thing is like the server certificate, SSL certificate file. These are the three things that we are interested in: SSL certificate file, SSL certificate key file, and the SSL CA certificate file. Okay, so these names looks little different, right? So let's see how to map this. We got a 3 different set of files, but the names here seems a little bit out of context, right? You could put whatever names you want, but then just to follow this, it says like it's looking for this folder etc pki tls certs folder, right? I have put a custom.crt which is mapped to this file. So this is my custom.crt. obviously I'm not going to open this because for security reasons I'm not going to open and show this. So you can just follow these steps, and in the certificate, in the TLS private folder, you just have to do a private.key, which is this. You just open this file and create a file in your Linux box, right? So this is private.key. You could name whatever you want here. It's not mandatory to have private.key. Whatever you name and put the file in this folder, you just have to replicate that here, that name here, right? And then let's see. Okay, I think this is the CA bundle, the certificate authority bundle, right? See, however, you can see that CA bundle is not the file name here. I have just named it as intermediate.crt. So just take the contents of this file and create an intermediate.crt file in certs folder and just point the link over here. So this is the config file for your web server to look up, right? So that part is done. So let's see what needs to be done. Okay, so I have put my intermediate.crt. all these things are done, and I think it tells you to give some permissions for all these files, which you have to do. So give the appropriate permissions mentioned in this tutorial, and I think this is just to confirm, and in the end you just have to restart your httpd service, right? So all these things are done. So let's see what next. So next it says like how do you confirm that your site is secure, right? So you just have to follow this link. It takes you to this site called as SSL server test. Just give in your host name and submit. It will do some basic checks and let you know whether your site is secure by now or not, right? So that is the first part, what you need to do to make your website secure. So let's try to open our website. Like, so I've just opened it here, discussionhive.com, and if you click it here, it says it's a secure connection, and it is verified by Let's Encrypt, right? SSL by free is verified by Let's Encrypt, right? So now you have a secure site which allows all the communication between your clients who log in or like just visit your site to be secured, right? So that is the first part. Okay, the second part is something related to AWS. Now that I have hosted my site in AWS, I'm not just using an EC2 instance, I'm also using CloudFront service from AWS, right? So that means most of my content or all of my images and other things are stored in S3 and then served by CloudFront, right? So that means like whatever this image you see over here, right, that needs to be secured as well. Overall your site is secured, but some of the contents are not yet secure, right? So how do we do that part? So this needs to be taken care of in AWS, right? Now your site is secure, but your content needs to be secured. That is not yet assured, right? So let's try to figure out if there is some service for that. So you just have a service called a certificate manager. Okay, you have to go there and request a certificate. So be careful here. I have hosted my EC2 in Asia Pacific Singapore region, but then if you try to request a certificate over there, right, I think I had a problem here. Let me Okay, let me try to show you that, because I was stuck here. I'm using CloudFront, and when I created a certificate in, okay, hold on, certificate manager, yeah, Singapore, I created a certificate, but then when I went to my CloudFront to use this certificate, this was not shown up. So I did a check on this, and I found out that at the point when I recorded this video, right, the certificate manager was only supported in North Virginia region. So that is when I created my site certificate manager over here in this region, right. It is very simple. You just have to request a new certificate and prove the ownership again, that you are the owner of this domain. And I think there are three simple steps. That is all you have to do, right. So I created my certificate in North Virginia region. It doesn't matter, like it's not going to slow down your website or anything related to your performance. So you could go over here and create the certificate, right. The next thing is, like, you have to go to your CloudFront, or I think the Elastic Load Balancer. So in my case it is CloudFront distribution. Just ignore these two things. It's I think I was doing some kind of a trial. So this is my active CloudFront distribution, and if you try to edit this and see, I'm using a custom SSL certificate, and this is my certificate, right. So the issue that I was talking about was, like, if you create a certificate in some other region, then you won't be able to select this option at all. It doesn't allow you to do a custom certificate kind of a thing. So that is that is an issue that I faced. Probably when you all are looking at this, it might have get fixed, but I'm not sure. So okay, so I'll just cancel this. So this is a simple setting that you have to do in your CloudFront, and there are a couple other settings as well. Like, if you just try to edit your behavior, you can see, like, it is a redirect to HTTP to HTTPS, right. So that means, like, by mistake, if you just don't give anything, like, it will just redirect you to HTTPS, or if you intentionally give HTTP, still it will redirect you to HTTPS. Maybe not your site, but all your resources, right, because since we are talking about AWS resources, not your site itself. So this is handled in your WordPress. So let's see about that a bit later. Let me finish this off, right. So this was regarding the protocol policy, and I think rest all should remain same. Yeah, so you can leave it like that. Yeah, I think this should be it. You have all your CloudFront this thing. Yeah, so let me show the impact of what I was trying to do, right. So you open an image over here, and if you see here, this image is being served by my CloudFront, right. So if you see, this itself is again secured. It's not, see, it says like it's verified by Symantec Corporation. So it is not similar to the, see, it is verified by Let's Encrypt, whereas this one is verified by this thing. So these are two different things, right. One is related to your entire site, and one is related to your CloudFront distribution. So these are all the contents coming from AWS, right. So that is different thing. So these both things are secure now. So the other thing is, like, you might want to go into your WordPress console and try to go to the general settings and change the URL there. You just have to put in HTTPS instead of HTTP. I think there are two text boxes or something. You just have to change it over there. So I'm not going to log in into that and show you all those details, but it should be very simple. Okay, so that is that. Let's see, is there anything else? You should have done this by now. SSL for free is done, and then yeah, I think you should be up and running. Yeah, so let me know, guys, if you have any questions or facing any issues. I could try to answer that, right. Yeah, I think this is it for the video. Please like, share, and subscribe this video. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.